Hi, sir, and thank you so much for joining me for this week's symposium conversation of an intimate symposium conversation about your collaboration with Sir Farhat, Carson Beck, and Leah Rosendahl. And this is a continuation of the Premiere in Process that we released like a few months ago. And so I'm just really interested to hear what has happened since then and how you've expanded on the kind of things that you were talking about in our last chat.
Yeah. So first of all, thanks so much for organizing this again. Shortly after that first meeting we had, so I was learning the piece, and I ended up sort of wondering if it might actually. It was a fairly big score, and so there was like lots of stuff going on, and I thought to myself, it might be interesting to flesh this out if Sear would be okay with it on two pianos potentially. And as luck would have it, I'm part of a piano duo, and I thought this would be like a really cool project for both of us to take on, myself and Carson Becky. And so yeah, I talked to Sarah about it. He was really excited, and I think the result was something that because we've worked so much together, me and Carson, there weren't any issues in terms of like coordinating things with ensemble. It's still a pretty intricate score. There's all kinds of like cool rhythms, passages that we sort of trade off as well. I think became especially effective. Like essentially it's the equivalent of like, I'll say a phrase and then Carson will say that phrase, and then I'll say the phrase again, and then Carson will say the phrase again. And the cool thing of having two instruments is that if you were to repeat something on one instrument over and over again, it sounds like it's coming from the same source because it is. But when you have it from two different instruments, there's this like a sort of ping pong effect, right, where it's coming from different places. So yeah, there was even, I felt like because of the fact that there were now two pianos, there was an added, I don't know if this is just me, but there was like an added almost like a visual component to the sound. Like you can sort of imagine it coming from different places. And what's cool is that, yeah, we can trade things off, but then when we come together, there's this sense of everything sort of coalesces back into one sonic mass. So yeah, I was really glad that Zia was on board with expanding it out into two pianos. Certainly made my life a little easier because that was a really hard piece. So many hands make light work, as they say. So yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, I really resonate with that because I find that in so many scenarios, it's easier to play with other people because if you're sharing a line like what you just said, and they demonstrate it for you, you get like inspired to be creative and spontaneous in a different way when you're a soloist, it's so self-generated. It's so much about the imagination. So that's what I feel that very, very deeply because like that's why I find it so inspiring to play with string players or other pianists or whoever they may be, because then it's coming out from outside. So you don't have to self-generate as much.
Right.
Yeah.
It's actually something to play off creatively. That's for sure. There's like, yeah, there's definitely more of a give and take. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think I mean, I haven't actually watched it all the way through yet. I'm saving it for Monday when everyone else gets to, but I heard a few snippets and it just, first of all, like the camera work is beautiful and the space is beautiful.
Awesome. Yeah.
And
I'm still there now in case this is the same background. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just you can definitely feel that sense of like of dialogue, and even with the few segments that I heard, it's so clear that you're very attuned to one another.
Yeah.
How long have you been playing as a duo?
We've been playing as an unofficial duo for since I think our first concert was 2016. So yeah, 5 years at least. And we sort of slapped a name on the unofficial duo as of, I think it was last year, but we've been playing together for quite some time. So that certainly makes things easy when it comes to, as I'm sure you know, with people that you work with for a long time. It definitely makes life easier because you sort of know how the other person breathes, how they think, your habits that they've adjusted to, their habits that you've adjusted to, and so on and so forth. I'm sorry that Carson couldn't be here. He literally bought a home in the woods and is there now and doesn't have internet. So I feel like that's a very Canadian problem. but yeah, we've been working together for quite some time, and so it was extra fun to be able to collaborate, to add that extra layer of collaboration. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm so thrilled to be able to feature the two of you. I hope that you play this piece as part of your duo repertoire in the
Yeah,
future,
for sure.
and think of how this came together in the pandemic. And I hope we can all get together for some music, hopefully in person at one point. And yeah, thank you so much for being part of this.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.